with minimum wage, as Andy said, the issue is not, we haven't created a favorable ground to fight on that issue yet. But with Obamacare, we have somewhat created that well, we really didn't do it as much as the left did it. They created favorable ground by putting together a really, really horrible piece of legislation that people don't like. So, it's just depending upon the issue. There are battles that we can fight. There are hills that we should die on. But it's an issue by issue thing, and it shouldn't just be automatically this person is out because he thinks one way on an issue.
Yeah, when it comes to something like the minimum wage, I don't attack it and say let's get rid of it. No. I got to move people first. So instead, what I do is I turn away from the policy and I turn to the people, and I say, okay, guys, let me. And I love this. I love saying this to Democrats and putting them in this position. Okay, I look at them and I say, okay, guys, if you got somebody who's got $10-20 million, somebody who's really rich, and you want them to build a business here in America that makes lots of jobs, we all want that. Right now, they can go to all kinds of other countries and have way cheaper labor, EPA costs, regulatory costs. They can actually fire a bad employee without 20 lawsuits. They can go anywhere, all kinds of different countries, and make way more money if they don't build the job here. So here's my question. What are you guys offering these people to build here? How are you going to compete? And I put that to them a lot, and I've talked with younger people and just say, how is America going to compete to get them to build here? And within that, now they look at things like minimum wage, labor unions, and things like that, and they start to realize, wait a minute. And I say, yeah. You ever heard of offshoring? Is sending jobs overseas? That's why they go overseas. Look, I don't want to make it harder to employ people here. I want to make it easier to employ people here. So, but I start by putting it to them. I put them in the position of competing for business rather than in the position of assuming the business is there. Now, what can we get out of it? Change their perspective and then let them come to that conclusion with you. And they'll come to it pretty quickly.
And that is why we love having you on here, Andy. It's a nice trap to set up and spring on people.
Yeah, the only comeback I've heard on that is, and it's kind of funny, they'll say, we have a much more educated workforce. To which I say, well, first of all the latest, that's no longer true. I don't even think we're ranked in the top 25 anymore. We might be. We're way down in the teens at least. But more importantly, who's paying for all the schools? Who's paying for that educated workforce? It's the rich. They're the ones overwhelmingly paying the money. So they could go to any country and pay for lots of schools and an educated workforce. If you're going to force them to pay for it, they can go anywhere and do that. All right? So you haven't provided that for them. They paid for it. Well, we have roads and bridges. Yeah, they paid for those too. Look, what are you willing to do to compete to get them to build here and not over there? With that, I'm done. Sorry. Sorry to go over that territory again. But I really love watching them squirm because they do. You should see them on the blogs. They just squirm. They get really angry because they're so used to just saying, these people are rich, what can we get out of them? They don't deserve that much. Got these big voices like Glenn Beck, who I love, Rush Limbaugh, who I love, coming out bashing our team, and then in the last couple months of the election, they try to get everybody to turn around and go vote because they realize we're about to lose an election.